Question 1. Ozone layer is found in which layer of atmosphere? Stratosphere. Ozone layer is located in stratosphere, which is the second layer of Earth's atmosphere, lying above the troposphere and below the mesosphere. The primary function of the ozone layer is to absorb majority of the sun's harmful UV, particularly UVB and UVC rays, which are detrimental to living organisms on Earth. The concentration of ozone in the stratosphere is the highest between an altitude of approximately 15 से 35 kilometers, with the peak concentrating occurring around 20 से 25 kilometers. Ozone through the interaction of ultraviolet sunlight with oxygen molecules O2 called photodissociations. The creation of ozone molecules. The presence of ozone layer is creating life on Earth, as excessive exposure to UV radiation can cause skin cancer, cataracts, and immune system suppressions in humans, as well as the damage to marine ecosystem and terrestrial plants. The stratosphere is also characterized by a temperature inversion, meaning that the temperature increases with altitude due to absorption of UV radiation by ozone, unlike the troposphere where temperature decreases with altitude. The discovery of the ozone hole, primarily over Antarctica, was linked to human-made chemicals like chlorofluorocarbon, which might deplete the ozone layer by breaking down ozone molecules. This led to international agreements like the Montreal Protocol of 1987 to phase out ozone-depleting substances. Troposphere, the lowest layer of atmosphere extending up to 815 kilometers, is where weather phenomena like slow rain and storms occur. Temperature decreases with altitudes. Stratosphere, the second layer located above the troposphere and extending up to 15 से 50 km altitude, contains the ozone layer, which absorbs UV radiation. Temperature increases with altitudes. Mesosphere, above the stratosphere, extending from 50 से 50 km, is the coldest layer of the atmosphere, where meteors burns up upon their entry due to friction. Thermosphere extends from 50 से 600 km and contains the ionosphere. Temperature increases with altitude due to a major absorption of high-energy solar radiations. Auroras occurs in this layer. Ozone layer facts. Ozone is a molecule consisting of three oxygen atoms, and it plays a critical role in shielding Earth from harmful UV radiation. The ozone layer thickness is measured in Dobson units. Du. A normal ozone layer has a thickness of about 300 Dobson units. The ozone holes refers to a significant depletion of ozone over Antarctica, primarily caused by CFC and other ozone depleting substances. And Montreal Protocol and International Treaty adopted in 1987 to phase out the production and use of substances that deplete the ozone layer, such as CFC, halogens, and carbon tetrachloride. The protocol has been ratified by 197 countries, making it one of the most successful environmental agreements in its history. Health and environmental effects of UV radiation. Excessive UV radiation can cause skin cancer, cataracts, and immune system suppressions in humans. It can damage aquatic ecosystems, particularly plankton, which are vital for the marine food chain. The ozone layer is showing signs of recovery due to climate efforts under the Montreal Protocol. Scientists suspect that it could return to pre-1980 levels by mid-21st century. In which state mangrove forests are found in large scale? West Bengal. Sundari trees are mainly found in West Bengal. Mangrove is a shrub or small tree that grows in a coastal saline or brackish water. Mangroves are salt-tolerant trees, also called halophytes, and are adapted to live in harsh coastal conditions. They are adapted to the low oxygen and oxygen conditions of waterlogged mud. Sundarban mangroves are the largest single block of tidal halophytic mangrove forests in the world. It is spread across the parts of Bangladesh, Kulna division, and which provide durable hard timber. These forests are known as to serve as habitat for turtles, crocodiles, snakes, and tigers. Match the following column: marble, sandstone, coal, granite. Marble, sedimentary; sandstone, fossil fuels; coal, granite, metamorphic. That is formed from the limestone. Sandstone is type of sedimentary rock that is composed of sand-sized grains of minerals, rock, or organic material. Coal is type of fossil fuel that is formed from remains of dead plants that have been buried and subject to high pressure and temperature for millions of years. Granite is a type of ignition that is formed from slow cooling and solid magma. What causes the changes of the season on Earth? Tilt of Earth's axis. The change of season on Earth is caused by a combination of factors, primarily the tilt on Earth's axis is tilted from perpendicular to the plane of its orbit by around 5 degrees. This tilt is stable and does not change significantly as the Earth orbits the Sun. Earth orbits the Sun. Orientation of the tilt revolves Sun changes. This is why at different times of the year, either the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere receives more direct sunlight and energy from the Sun. Summer solstice occurs when the North Pole, northern hemisphere is tilted more directly towards the Sun. This is the longest day and shortest day night of the year with the atmosphere. The winter solstice is when one of the poles is disturbed most of the leading to the shortest night of the year for the hemisphere. The equinox, spring and autumn occur when the tilts of the Earth's axis are that it's neither tilted towards nor away from the sun resulting in neither equal day or equal night during all of the planet. During the part of the year where a hemisphere is tilted toward the sun, it receives more direct sunlight, which is concentrated over a small surface area. The angle at which sunlight reaches it. When the sun is directed overhead, the energy is concentrated on a small surface area and more intensely leading to warmer conditions. Question 5. Consider the following about rate of poverty and arrange the formation लकड़ा रंग राजन तेंदुलकर डंडे रात रात कमेटी तो डंडे का रात Peerless landmark study proposing a global best poverty line for India. लकड़ावाला कमेटी 1993 प्लानिंग कमीशन एक्सपर्ट ग्रुप रिकमेंडेड स्टेट स्पेसिफिक poverty line using 2400 से 2100 kilocalorie norms. Tendulkar shifts committee 2009 shifts from calorie norms to a broader consumption basket. New poverty line basket measured on MTC. Rangarajan committee Bharat show the review measurement again for high poverty threshold and different methodology. The term permaculture is most related to farming on frozen soils. The term permaculture is most closely related to which idea? Permaculture is philosophy and approach to agriculture focusing on creating sustainable and self-sufficient ecosystem. It employs principles that mimic the natural process of ecosystem, promoting long-term sustainability besides the integration of land resources, people, and environment through mutual beneficial synergy inspired by natural ecosystems. The practice involves techniques like companion planting, water preservation, soil regeneration, and water recycling to create a closed-loop system. Permaculture is not limited to farming but can also be applied to designing sustainable communities, homes, and spaces. Farming on frozen soils. This concept is not related to permaculture. Farming on frozen soils, known as permafrost agriculture, is extremely challenging as frozen ground lacks the necessary condition for plant growth. It may involve techniques such as greenhouses, rates, based and soil thawing methods, which are typically not sustainable or efficient in the long term. Lab-based cultivation in gel media. This effort to technique environmental nutrient-rich gel media. This only in research plant breeding and the population of disease-free plants does not align with the principle of permaculture, which focuses on natural ecosystem. Being oiled by microbes, this refers to bioremediation process where living organisms and microbes are used to break down different wastes and currently conversion and utilization. Consider the Pradhan kind growth, basic minimum needs criteria, and like community nations to the stand on only one is fair correct. Dandekar and Rath's committee on Secretary William Dandekar and Rathun Secretary made a systematic assessment of voting in aviation nations and survey data. Unlike previous sufficient living of basic minimum needs criteria as the major poverty line, BMW and Rath were of the view that the Poverty line must be derived from the expenditure that was adequate to provide just career part in both rural and urban areas. Alakala considers the poverty line for the on the basis of notice consumer health page. All consumers from the task force share by the Kerala based on the database works of goods and services used to calculate consumer price index industrial work. If you add up to and consumer price index, if you add, reflects the consumption pattern of poor. This is necessarily quotation based on national constraints. Rangarajan calculated middle national by rural then accommodation is based on different large survey of household by center. Converting in economy is also a different total lines should be based on normative level of adequate nutrition and and digital level. Behavior from the products and what people use hormones. General behavior. Who which among the following types of unemployment is also such unemployment? Frictional employment. Frictional employment is type of unemployment that occurs when in the process of unemployment from the stopping the subsequent because it is involves time taken by work to search for employment. This type of employment is usually temporary and it's considered part of the normal functioning of the labor market. Functioning frictional unemployment arises due to factors such as voluntary job changes, resignation in the workforce, or entering the job market after a hiatus. It is not necessarily a negative indicator for economy as it often reflects the amount of workers towards better opportunity and improved working conditions. Frictional unemployment is different from other forms of unemployment as it is not caused by overall lack of jobs in the economy but rather by mismatches between workers and job opportunity. It is influenced by factors like information asymmetry, lack of knowledge about job openings, and geographical mobility, difficulty in relocating to new areas. Different types of unemployment. Technology unemployment. This occurs when workers lose their jobs due to advancement in technology, such as automatic and mechanization. For example, the introduction of automation in service roles. Seasonal unemployment is handled by the employment friends aggregator work by unemployment. This guy is service when more time to reduce poverty, to transform agriculture sector. In the domain like India, frictional, seasonal, technological, frictional. It is short term and long does not last long. It affects labor market work and you seek better opportunities. Policy like job placement solutions, career counseling can help reduce friction. Persistence in that is a certain level of friction approach considered normal and it's more than nature. It was one of the first years that entering the job market contributes significantly to friction and unemployment. Policy intervention government can reduce friction and unemployment by investing in training programs to workers with mutual alliance in market demand, improve job information system. Stimulus can help recover between friction and unemployment is an indicator of a healthy job market where focus is. If you job set up a friction, which of the following statements are correct regarding gaining coefficients? Provide the level of income employment in the society or inequality. It can be derived using non-square. The Gini coefficient is a statistical measure used to assess income or wealth inequality within the country or group. The value of Gini coefficient range from 0 to 1, 0 to 100 in percentage form. A value 0 indicates perfect inequality with equality as in self-income. A value of 1 indicates perfect inequality for all the income. Gini coefficient means higher inequality. Economics in the level the wrong employs mainly percent of income against 100%. 20% of income against 100% population. Seems to measure the area between the line of equality and low income divided by total area of the line of equality. We are probably not considered as such products according to trade organizations. But under WTO agriculture should and the agriculture and environmental agriculture these subsidies are protein boxes and information that trade restriction affects breeding boxes for parental subsidy. Trading distorting. Including one of the research studies has a very good appointment transport. Number of websites that are distorting. So they should listen to as a person. Look up to the nurse. Agriculture. Every number we do.